Packers suck.
Unreal.
Man, what a game. That was really was a good game to watch. I enjoyed the whole thing. Being Bears fans, we're rooting against the Packers hard, so we got our drops.
You done messed up, Aaron.
I did what they call an emotional hedge.
Okay.
Where
Tell us about it.
Where, I don't know, it looked like the Packers would win this game, so I bet the Packers heavy in hopes they would lose. So if they did win, there would be something I could be happy about.
There you go.
Cram it up your cram hole, floor.
I think that's a lower EV play, but whatever.
Yep.
It's fine.
So, as Bear fans, again, when your team gets knocked out, all you have left is to root against your divisional rivals.
Yep.
Some would say it's petty. Some would say it's sad.
I would say it is
here
what
we
it
are.
is.
But here we are.
It is what it is.
I will say though that the fans of the show that are Packers fans, we got a few of them. They were
Most of
pretty
them.
gentle with us when we lost. So we're here for you, Packers fans. If you decide that you want to put down the bottle and watch with us, we're here for you.
You can cry on our shoulders.
We'll help you work
figuratively.
through this. So us Bears fans, we're familiar with just crushing your losses.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
Yeah, and they're often who we think they were.
And we're going to get through it together, right?
Maybe.
So
Maybe. I
we'll
hope one
try.
of us gets through it.
So there'll be a couple little salt in the wounds, but not too much. So some takeaways from that game.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was good.
He was good.
Not great. Wasn't enough to overcome Tom.
Threw for over 300 and a couple touchdowns.
But Tom Brady just showing up, doing enough.
Tom Brady thrown 3 picks, though. I mean, it wasn't
true.
like he was unflappable. He
And
had
some
a
of those
couple
picks
moments.
you got to put on the wide receivers. That one that bounced off
Evans had a couple of hands
bounced off
touches.
Mike Evans' head and over to the other
Didn't
guy.
go great, but
Mike Evans with a couple. Both teams actually had some big drops. Some takeaways though. Aaron Jones, the other Aaron,
You done messed up, Aaron.
2 fumbles and a chest injury, sat out the second half of the game, which is interesting because I did throw AJ Dillon in there, the rookie for Green Bay. I threw him on my DFS team I was trying to get as low as I could in the running back area so that I could get
Buy some
the
elite
stud
later.
wide receivers and Travis Kelce. And he actually gets in there, gets a couple points. Looked good. He had that one run where he was carrying like 4 guys on his back. Looked like a monster.
He definitely had a couple good runs. Here's an interception here, though, from Allen. No, they're saying incomplete.
Oh.
They're saying incomplete. I don't know. We'll see.
We are watching the Kansas City Buffalo Bills game live.
I'm pumped for this game.
As we stream live on Twitch, so come in and watch the game with us. But yeah, other takeaways. Marquez Valdez-Scantling was a guy that I had in my lineup for DFS throughout the week and ended up last minute making some adjustments so I could get Stephon Diggs in there. And he actually played. So 2 guys that I had in my lineup all week were Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Aaron Jones, and then the third guy I had was Cameron Brate. And I ended up switching it last second. Went another way, put in A.J. Dillon and Mercedes Lewis, the old tight end for Green Bay, who had like 3 receptions.
Yeah, he did.
Maybe the most receptions he's had all year. So I am a genius.
I did play MVS, though.
Yes,
Thank goodness.
and he had a big game.
And Godwin, which both are kind of paying off a little bit.
Yeah.
Gronk didn't help me out too much, but at least got me a few points there at the end.
Gronk did have that one big play at the end where he showed up. So, again, that
DFS is tough.
we'll see.
It's
we'll
a
see
whole
what
different
happens.
animal.
I feel pretty good about my chances. I'm sitting in a good spot. Let me tell you if you heard of these guys. Got Stephon Diggs, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill all going in this game. Last week, though, I paid for the big guys and they let me down. So,
well, Aaron Jones is letting you down in this one.
and I also have Devin Singletary, stud running back for the Buffalo Bills. So, speaking of the Bills and their running backs, I made a trade in Dynasty today. Traded away Zach Moss, a rookie he wasn't great this year. He had a couple okay games, some bright spots, looked good in the last couple games, got an injury, hasn't played in the playoffs. Ended up getting a late first and a second for him in this year's draft. So I feel good about that. What do you think?
I mean, that's fine.
So here's what kind of pushed me. I think if the situation was exactly the same going next year, Zach Moss is a guy that I'd want to have if it was. But there's a solid chance that they bring in a running back through free agency. I saw, first thing I typed in, like, are the Bills going to pick up a running back in free agency? And it's like Chris Carson. That's who's going there.
Honestly, it's not going to matter because they're a throw-first team, and and Allen runs too. So I don't know, unless you put even Aaron Jones in that backfield, right? Are they necessarily going to run the ball a ton more? I don't think so.
I think it depends on how this game goes and if they win this game, how the next game goes. But these playoffs could shine a light on how, like, you're going to need some running game to get going. But
yeah,
to that point, though, the teams that we're looking at that are in the Final Four are all teams that you wouldn't put them in elite running.
But still, I still think that's a team where if they did invest in a running back, I don't know that I'm investing in that running back. So
if Chris Carson goes there, I think it'll be a usable piece. I think they'll run more. I think that
I don't know, because Chris Carson can only play about 4 games a year.
that could be true, and then Zach Moss could have value. So Zach Moss, he's an interesting one as far as where we're at right now. All right, so we got our first comment, and it
Greg
is
with
Bucks exclamation point.
Bucks.
And
Man.
that is more a go Bucks because the Packers are the division rival.
Packers suck.
So Peyton Manning said it best there when he became baptized in the meat sauce with the super fans.
Oh, man.
That is what that drop is from. If you haven't watched Peyton's Places, I enjoy it.
I have not.
It's a good watch.
Fair
If you
enough,
got some
fair
time
enough.
to kill. So Marquez Valdez-Scantling being good. Lazard got involved a little bit, but still, I don't know. We've seen him. Are you interested in him next year as a prospect, or do you think they're going to add to their team?
I was looking to trade for some depth pieces, and I saw Lazard's name, and I'm not interested because
Not excited.
I have a feeling they're gonna have to bring somebody in. MVF has actually looked pretty good.
That's what we thought last year during the draft, and here we are.
I know, but even if they don't bring somebody in, I don't know that these are the pieces that I'd want.
So go high.
Tanyan is actually
happy to have you.
filling in, if anything. What's going on? Welcome in. Forever.
I don't know if that is a turkey tom.
Stinky Cheese,
Forever.
2020 Forward, Swift Rage, and Power Up.
There you go. It all
what it
makes
is.
sense.
Yeah. I don't know why everybody's
Read
so surprised.
between the lines.
Who did I bet to score first in this one? I think I bet Kansas City,
All right, that's a safe bet.
which they didn't score first. So
So I picked Kansas City to win this game. Report comes out today that my dynasty quarterback, Patty Mahomes, has a turf toe injury. I think there are varying levels of severity you can have for that. But yeah, it's a bit of a concern, and it was one of the reasons I faded him in DFS. But still, Patty, you're my guy, my dynasty quarterback. Lead us into the next 10 years. And he completes it to Kelsey, who I started in DFS. So
I think everybody started Kelsey in DFS.
you got to start Kelsey,
To be fair,
right?
I mean, when you see the positional advantage there, you have to pay for it.
Yeah,
I'm
Tanya
pretty
had a
sure.
couple receptions for Green Bay. Mercedes Lewis will, I believe, 3 receptions.
Yeah, it's not enough. It's not enough.
No, I think
Evans
you
in this
gotta
one
play Kelsey.
in the game earlier, 3 for 51 and a touchdown. Godwin 5 for 110 on 9 targets. Evans 8 targets, only 3 of them caught.
Really could have been a bigger day for Evans if he brings in 2 of those passes that were in his hands. They were very catchable.
Yeah, Scotty Miller had that long touchdown.
Yeah, let's talk about that
Yeah.
play. So going into the half, Tampa Bay, they have the ball. It looks like maybe they're going to try and run one more play to get into field goal range. End up, the Packers, it wasn't even a blown coverage. It was just kind of a poor coverage call where they had a one-on-one on the outside. Scotty Miller, speedy guy, gets going, catches a big play. And I think that was a huge momentum swing going into the half.
Well, I think with 6 seconds left, I think the Green Bay's thinking they're going to do a quick out route to
Yeah,
the outside
absolutely.
and try and get in better field goal range. But Scotty Miller definitely
But
went
Tommy,
outside.
the savvy vet, he's been there a million times. What does he do? Tom Brady throws touchdowns in playoff games.
Tyreek with the drop.
Tom Brady, I believe I was the only one of the 8 to 10 people that played in our DFS this week that played Tom Brady as their quarterback, which I thought was a little bit interesting.
Because he's old.
Well, I had Aaron Rodgers, but then I made the move to Tom because I needed to make room to try and I wanted all of the big wide receivers. I wanted Hill, I wanted Devontae Adams, and I wanted Diggs. And that's what I had to do is I had to actually take out Aaron Rodgers and put in Tom Brady, and he finished with just a couple points less. So overall, that move I feel good about.
I took Josh Allen. We'll see.
Again, I do feel bad that I took out Brate, who got a touchdown. Cameron Brate actually came on at the end of the year and was probably the number 1 wide receiver, tight end option.
Cameron Brate's always there to ruin your dreams.
Not wide receiver, pardon me. The number 1 tight end receiving option for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Whether you're a Gronk owner
or O.J. Howard if he ever
O.J.
plays.
Howard. Yeah, Brate's there to ruin your dreams.
Yeah, unless you played him, but because he was.
Ethan got Brate touchdown for plus 400. And
there
and
you
hit on
go.
that one,
That's a good call. I like that. And he was one of those guys. You knew that somebody on the Green Bay, whether it was Scantling or Lazard or Tanyan, one of those guys is going to get a touchdown. It's just hard to know which one.
Anywho, who's going to beat the Bucks in the Super Bowl? I don't
I
know.
want to see.
I'm not putting anything past the Bucks at this point.
I want to see Patty's foot. I want to see how he looks out there. If he's ginger, if he can move around, if he's making completions.
I'm a Bills fan now, so I want to see Buffalo.
If Mahomes was fine and I didn't hear that toe report, I would have been pretty all in on them. I think that the Bills are pretenders. I don't believe in their in their run this year. I think that the competition they played hasn't been that great. I think that they were exposed a little bit against the Ravens, but I know that Nick's on the other side of that. You do believe.
I don't know. They've won 2 playoff games and they're in the Final Four. I mean,
that makes sense. No, they've done very well, but I don't know. Some of those things that even if you have a great team and they've been great all year, if you run in, timing is everything. And if Mahomes, luckily he got cleared the concussion protocol, so he's going to play today. Obviously he's in, but man, if he hadn't been in and they go up against Henny, all of a sudden that everything's different, and you just
for sure.
And it's all about timing. But Mahomes is there. I think they're going to be all right. I think they're going to be able to sling the ball. Maybe it lowers his rushing floor a little bit, but he's not a guy where he's just a rushing guy. He throws touchdowns.
Oh, for sure. MVS 4 for 115 and a touchdown. Devontae Adams on 15 targets, 9 catches, 67 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. So
Still
Devontae
good.
doing Devontae things.
Yep. Like Rodgers 346 passing, 3 touchdowns and a pick. So a better day than Brady points wise, I think.
Yeah. I think he was like 4 or 5 points higher in the end. But.
Tanyan 4 for 22 and a touchdown. So that's not.
So Tanyan, if you win another
still.
way and you're trying to go with a tight end over Kelsey, that
I was trying to decide
play.
between Tanyan or Gronk for the flex spot.
What'd you go with?
I went with Gronk.
You followed your heart.
Yeah.
All right. I respect it.
I want to.
I would definitely have gone with Tanyan.
I did play Fournette, though, and Fournette only 55 yards rushing, but he did have a touchdown rushing, and he had 5 catches for 19 yards. So
his touchdown was nice. He sort of did a little leapfrog move over a couple guys that fell down and then got up the side.
He still looks good, but he's not fun to own.
I thought that as well. I thought that watching Leonard Fournette in this game and the last couple games, he's actually looked pretty good.
I think skill-wise, Fournette's probably a top 5 to 7 guy in the league, but
that's a bold take.
I think he's got the physical gifts for that. I just think the mental game, and obviously teams don't find him as attractive as you would think.
26, 27, around that age, so he's kind of.
I don't know if he's quite that old yet, but
he's
he's
the end
getting
of
there.
his prime, but still had some juice in there and some gas in the tank, and he helped him out in the stretch here, and we'll see how this next game goes for Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay.
He's 26.
Should have a bit of a home advantage.
He just had a birthday last week.
I heard a thing that they're letting a bunch of healthcare workers and like first responders into the game for free. I thought that was a cool thing for the NFL to do, so we support that.
For sure. Okay, one other piece of news that we should cover is Matt Stafford and the Lions parting ways.
Yeah, so that was the big news.
Let's talk about this for a little bit.
It wasn't unforeseen, I don't think. I think that I expected that.
So some behind-the-scenes sources are saying that it was more Matt Stafford saying, I'm out, than the Lions saying, we're mutually departing. But he's trying to, be good to the team and giving him an option to trade him. And I think he likes the Lions, but he realizes if he wants a chance at winning,
I think we've seen,
he's gotta get out
I
of
think
there.
we've seen the ceiling for Matt Stafford on the Lions, and it'll be interesting to see what direction they go if they try to draft somebody. I don't know what pick they have in the NFL draft. Do you know that off the top here? We could look it up, but they should have a fairly high pick. They had a poor season as far as their record, as long as they haven't traded away, which no big trades come to mind.
The 7th pick.
Okay, so the 7th pick in the NFL draft. You're not going to get one of the 2, 3 probably top quarterback.
No, but there's supposed to be
options.
4 to 5 that potentially go in the first round. So
Yeah,
they could grab one.
it'll be interesting to see what they do in the draft.
Yep, new coaching staff, so we'll see. It's gonna be a rough team, I think.
Yeah, the coach that they grabbed wasn't one that is didn't scare you very much.
No, I mean he would scare you as a physical
He's
person,
a frightening
but,
human.
Yeah, no,
I think there was a
it
quote
seems more like
along-
a heart hire than an actual.
Yeah, I know. You get in there, and if
schematic
he had
hire.
some passion and his toughness like shown through, maybe they like that.
But I was listening to a couple radio shows, and they're like, "That's not how you win today.
No,
you win
no.
with your scheme and your play calling. You don't win with your heart."
Yeah, I think that there's something to be. I agree with that. You got to be, the X's and O's are more important than the moving speeches. But sometimes it's. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes with the Lions. I predict terrible things for them for the next 15 years.
If they re-sign Galladay, do you want Galladay? Assuming they draft a rookie quarterback?
Not really, but I also was kind of out on Galladay before this.
Let's say they sign Andy Dalton.
No,
You
I'm
want
not
any of the
excited
receivers?
about it. I think it'll be a very usable piece if he's healthy and plays. But Galladay's a free agent as well. We'll see how
Sam
this
Darnold.
affects him. Sam Darnold, I'm more interested. I'm more about it. I think Sam Darnold, I like his ability to show more than we have seen from him more. I think with Dalton, you know exactly what you're getting. You've seen the ceiling. With Darnold, if he gets away from the Jets, he'd follow that Gase storyline of once you get away from Adam Gase, you just turn into a great player.
Right.
The Tennessee Titans quarterback, Tannehill, that is the story with him. He was on Miami with Gase, played poorly, got another chance in Tennessee, and has actually played very well. So, but it's interesting to follow Sam Darnold. I did grab him in Dynasty. I want to see where he ends up, if he's going to be the starting quarterback for somewhere. If he's going to be the backup on the Jets, then I'm pretty out. But I think that he'll get a chance. I think he's more talented than some of the other guys that are floating around out there whose names are getting tossed around that could get signed on teams.
Right. Yeah, no, I'd have to agree. But yeah, it's going to be a struggle for the Lions, I think. How do you think Swift changes in value at all?
Yeah, I think that if they want to run the ball more, I think it'll be better for Swift, especially if Adrian Peterson moves on to greener pastures.
Well, they hired Anthony Lynn as their offensive coordinator. So, I mean, if you're going to buy into the Eckler usage, that's kind of what you would want out of Swift.
Yeah, Swift is his college career. He showed that he could catch the ball. I think that they had...
And they said they want to use him out of the slot.
They had that one big drop the first game he played against the Bears, and it might have stuck in their heads a little bit. They didn't want to throw it to him. But I think Swift is good as a player. I think that whole organization, though, is one of those that you could put it on the list of, just full of void. There are a lot of the other sophomore running backs I would rather have over him. I think all the ones whose names I'd rather have Dobbins, I'd rather have Taylor, I'd rather have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I'd rather have Cam Akers, all of those guys over Swift in Dynasty as well as redraft next year.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. Do you disagree?
Wow. Bills recover at the goal line. So I do have money on Josh Allen first touchdown.
Oh, that's looking good right now.
So on the goal line.
Yeah, that's a muff punt, it looks like.
I also have the Bills -7. I moved the line. They were favorites, and I moved it all the way to -7.
Oh, man, and that was right in his hands. Looks like it just bounced off his pads. Mecole Hardman. And that is costly.
No. So there's been some hype around Mecole Hardman with Sammy Watkins potentially moving out in the offseason.
There was actually that type of hype this past year when we were doing mock drafts before we knew that Sammy was going to be back for sure. And I don't know, Robinson gets involved a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be the guy that takes the chance on it. If I could get him for cheap in Dynasty, I'd go for it. But redraft, I'll avoid him.
So, and there's a little more news today that Deshaun Watson for sure wants out. That's a little bit more into it today.
I thought we were well aware that was the case.
I know, but it kind of...
It's coming to a head.
Neither side has officially said, I want to be traded. We're looking at trades. So it's kind of hearsay, but every day is further and further into the hole that it seems like he will be moving on from the Texans.
That is tough. If you're a Texans fan... We feel for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Dawson Knox with the touchdown.
Oh, Dawson Knox is a guy I glanced at. He was not in the bottom tier level of paying for tight ends, so he was
right.
So I couldn't fit him in. But Knox has
there's
actually
only 4 starting tight ends. Then
Knox has actually been pretty good for the Bills. He's had some touchdowns. He's come on a little bit at the end of the year. I don't hate Knox if you're trying to, he'll be a guy that you're streaming next year in redraft now and then.
Yeah. No, I think he is. I don't know. I think you could stream him in the right situations, but no, he's not on my favorites
I'm
list.
rooting for the shootout. I could use all the points, especially for Kansas City's players. I actually faded the Bills except for Singletary. I didn't take a lot of Bills besides Diggs, and Singletary I just got in because he was a low cost. But like John Brown, he's a guy that's kind of like MBS, could have a big day. 2 weeks back he hurt. Yeah, I got the goose egg, but played a little
Gabriel
bit.
Davis.
Gabriel Davis, is he in this week?
I know
that he was
I didn't
questionable.
start him. I was looking at it, and then I didn't want to wait to hear any longer.
All right, your guy.
The extra point did not go in, so 9-0 Buffalo at this moment. Interesting start to this one. Turnover, costly.
Absolutely, as they almost always are, especially when you do it within the 5.
Yeah, or within the 2. And
that's the kind of thing that at this point in the year, sometimes it just comes down to the team that doesn't make the mistake, and they're hard to overcome. That was one of the other things about the Buccaneers game, though. Three turnovers, and they were still. Also, the thing I want to say about those turnovers is I believe at least 2 of them were almost as good as punts. So they were like really long passes.
Right,
and they took a
and
shot.
they were on 3rd and deep.
Exactly. So that is also kind of Tom Brady. Like, is smart enough. He knew probably the situation, knew that if they didn't get it, they were going to have to punt. So he throws up a long one, taking a chance. And what it does for you is A, it's almost as good as a punt as far as the yardage, but B, it gives your wide receiver a chance to make a play, and C, the pass interference, because Tom, he gets those pass interference calls. So I think that although you might look at it and, on the stat sheet, or if you're playing in fantasy, like, oh man, he threw 3 picks, but if you were just watching football and just understand how football works, I think it was very smart picks as far as picks go. Yeah.
We probably should at least talk about the Packers deciding not to go for it on 4th. I mean, we didn't really mention that earlier.
In the Discord, so it was the end of the game. Yeah. There's about, they're coming up on the 2-minute warning. There's a whole series of things that happened after this, but the Green Bay Packers, they are down 8 points. So if they got the touchdown, they need the 2-point conversion. They decide not to go for it. They kick the field goal, putting them down by 5. They kick it away. And the guy who's returning it, had he stayed on his feet for 2 more seconds, it would have taken it down to the 2-minute warning and saved another kind of free timeout, basically, for the Green Bay Packers. So the Buccaneers player screws up, doesn't get to the 2-minute warning. They run a play. First play they run, they get 9 yards, and the Green Bay has their timeouts, so they get an on-purpose penalty
to
give them the first down, so that they don't just pick up the first down after having to use a timeout.
Blow a timeout.
Which, again, good coaching, very smart. The kind of thing that you don't see from some of those coaches. Again, that would Lovie Smith never would have happened.
You'd have called 2 timeouts.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was an interesting turn of events. And then you get the big pass interference. Marcy, yeah, you were there, you saw it, but we're just going through. Tyler Johnson, a rookie who I threw on my dynasty team. He had one drop early in the game, had a nice catch later, but gets the questionable pass interference. Little tug on the jersey, but the way that they'd been calling that game, honestly, as much as we just have the Packer hating bias, I think that was not a good call. They shouldn't have got away with that. That being said, Green Bay still would have had to get the ball, score a touchdown, but a big moment in the game.
My only thing with the call is in my head, you're first and goal from within 10 yards, right? Obviously. So you have one shot to get a touchdown, which you have to be really good to do that, right?
Yeah.
But your other situation is you kick the field goal, Tom Brady runs out some time, you get the ball back with a minute left in a long field. You have to be great, to come down the field, and you have to score a touchdown.
And your defense has to stop Tom Brady and Bruce Arians from picking up a first down, basically.
Right.
So it's easy for us to say in hindsight, but in the moment even, I was like, I think you got to go for it there, because even if you don't get the touchdown, you're in the same kind of situation where you got to get the defensive stop, use your timeouts, get the ball back.
I think if you're down 6 points and you want to go for a field goal and a field goal to tie, then that's fine. But you have to get a field goal, and then you still have to get a touchdown. It's not like you're saving yourself any time at that point. You're 4th and goal.
Yeah,
so
agree. But let's see. We have a comment from NIU to KU. Happy to see you, bud.
Quiet
I
up,
need
chat.
to go
Yeah.
buy
Speak
avocado
up, right?
ice cream.
Well, hang out with us while you do that.
Yeah.
What the hell? There's always next year. Exactly.
That
There's
can't
always
wait.
next year for everyone.
Sunday night, and you have to have your avocado ice cream. Is avocado ice cream good?
I don't.
These are things I don't know. I don't think I've ever had avocado ice cream.
Can you just mush up avocado and just freeze it?
I like guacamole.
Yeah, but that's more because of the garlic salt than anything, right?
Yeah. The chips, the salt,
Yeah.
all the non-avocado parts of it.
Only one team can win it all. So, I mean, it's a tough thing to do. It is a tough thing to do. Greg Olson announced his retirement today.
Yep. So, hopefully we'll see him in the booth. I like Greg Olson. He seems like a good guy.
Joke
was lost. I apologize. It might be from the movie I recommended.
You guys do not understand the Tom Brady reference for TB12. Gotcha. Is that in the TB12 program? I was unawares.
I see. Well, now we're getting better every day. We're learning with you. But
so it says for Matt Stafford, the most seamless fit would be to the Colts, apparently.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I can see him also getting another 2 old washed-up quarterback, making a run, making the playoffs, and getting knocked out first round.
I don't think you realize how good Matt Stafford is.
I don't think he's that good.
Why?
His stats have been fine, but
look at the team he's been on.
How many playoff games has he been in? How many has he won? I'm over it. No,
he's been on a terrible team. What do you mean?
There you go.
Deshaun Watson, how many playoff games has he won?
Deshaun's good.
Okay, but what's the difference?
Matt Stafford's not good. He gets hurt. He'll play 4 games and get hurt.
Deshaun missed a whole year for an ACL tear.
I wouldn't sign Matt Stafford. I don't want him on the Bears. I don't want him anywhere.
Oh.
Marcy, we're glad you made it into here. We're happy to see you.
Rex Grossman has the same NFC championship as Aaron Rodgers. Oofda. Oofda.
Well, Rodgers is a very good quarterback. It's hard to argue with that.
I guess the Bucs paid the refs more than we did. Here's the thing. I don't think you can even call it on the refs, because if anything, I feel like Mr. Goodell would not want Tom Brady in the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, no, I think that the refs made bad calls both ways, but they definitely, again, that last call where they called the pass interference, that was a big one. That 12 men on the field call, that was interesting too. That one gave them a little bit extra yardage, but that was the right call. Again, they called it kind of loose. I could see being upset with the refs if you wanted to be, but yeah, some of those games you gotta put it away, take it out of the refs' hands.
I heard a stat the other day. Give me the top 4 receivers with 20-plus yard touchdowns since 2018. The top 4 with the most 20-plus yard touchdown receptions.
I know Marquez Valdez-Scantling had a lot this year that were like...
It's not MVS.
Okay.
No, it's
he had a lot of long touchdowns.
It's high-profile guys.
All right, let's see. Say the
most 20-plus yard touchdowns since 2018.
Oh, Hopkins.
Hopkins was up there.
Julio. Julio didn't get a lot of touchdowns for a couple.
I don't think Julio was on there.
there.
No, Julio was just getting yards. Chunking them out.
Mike Evans.
It was Mike Evans. Yep.
If I had to pick a couple more, not Allen Robinson. They didn't score enough.
Actually, I don't think it was Hopkins. I think it was Evans. It was Devontae Adams.
Oh, Devontae. That's it.
It was Tyreek Hill. And give me the 4th.
Oh, I don't know. You took the good ones.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Since 2018, he took an entire year off.
And he still had that
and a half.
I know Antonio was dominant for a while.
Man, he was freaking good.
And then he just got crazy.
Yeah. But
great catch by Travis Kelce, laying out.
He dropped the one before, so that was a
defender.
makeup catch for sure.
All right. Yep, we need Steve to come give us the conspiracy about why Goodell wanted the Packers to lose that game. Maybe he has the wrong insurance.
Do you know what headline it is to have TB12 in his home stadium in the Super Bowl and a new conference, new coach in the Super Bowl? Of course, Goodell wants him there. The income has gone down, obviously, due to COVID, so I don't see why he doesn't.
Yeah,
That's not a bad thought.
Maybe Bill would be behind the scenes just tampering with things to make Tom lose, but... You never know with Bill. He's a shifty guy.
Yeah. The Bucs left it pretty close there at the end, though. They were up 28-10, and it got a little tight there. Let's see here. Report Tom Brady to make $1 million in incentives if Tampa Bay wins the Super Bowl.
That makes sense. I think they should do that more often. It's just win-win for everybody. Your guy's happy, who was obviously talented enough to win the Super Bowl. Like, you make money for being in the Super Bowl. All the players get a bonus.
And I think the other thing is the corner for the Bucs, Murphy Bunting, has a pick in each of the 3 playoff games so far. That's a pretty impressive stat.
Oh, the defense has shown up. That was another thing that was one of the keys to the game. Tampa Bay, their defense showed up. They sacked Aaron Rodgers multiple times, and they sacked him, they were good sacks. They were whipping them around. So it's hard to keep your concentration when you're getting banged up back there. But they were actually the defense that I played. I think only one other person played them in DFS, and they've actually looked very good in the last 2 games. So if Tom wins this Super Bowl, part of that's going to be on the defense. And everybody the narrative was, all these offensive weapons, but the defense has really shown up and kept them in it these last couple games.
Somebody on Twitter said, I have no idea who is going to win next week, but if the Bills make their first Super Bowl appearance since 1994 and Tom Brady is on the other side of the field, that's some true Star Wars shit.
That is great. I do. Again, and then if he just beats them, like how much as a Bills fan do you
he leaves your division,
one guy,
and then he make it to the Super Bowl and get beat.
I know. And if he just didn't exist, how would the Bills story be different?
I know. That is truly funny. And some other big news this week. Obviously, Drew Brees, we heard he was probably retiring after that game last week, but Phillip Rivers going with him.
Yeah, so they came in the same year, going out the same year, just a real...
and they were traded.
Real Sam Clemens, Haley's Comet kind of situation there.
I don't think we've ever had something similar to that, where 2 fairly high-profile quarterbacks were just traded.
I don't know. Maybe again this coming year, all kinds of quarterbacks move around. It's a different league. There's more emphasis on the quarterback. Just guys are lasting longer. Their careers are going longer. All kinds of things.
We'll have a lot of openings. I mean, the Lions job is open. How many jobs are open right now? Lions, Saints,
Bears,
Colts, potentially the Texans.
Yeah.
Patriots.
Miami, we'll see what happens.
Maybe the Jets.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of movement. It'll be fun to watch the free agency this year. Again, a couple quarterbacks I just threw on my dynasty roster just to see where they go. Will Jameis Winston get a job? Sam Darnold's the other one.
Right. Bambo, I honestly don't care about the Super Bowl as long as the Bills or Chiefs win. Okay. Same. I just want one of the youngins to kick Brady's ass.
So that means that he will care about the Super Bowl as long as one of them beats Tom. So now that Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl, I think he gives you a reason to watch if you're a Tom hater. So
let's see here.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Brady's got the experience. It's hard to bet against Brady in the playoffs.
So apparently Ethan triple booked a Dawson Knox touchdown bet. He bet him 3 times for $5 and hit all 3 of them.
He's a genius. He's a genius.
So apparently that's a thing. All the haters, Brady kept rolling. Again, I was talking to Mike about this before. I think when he left New England, he goes to Tampa, and if you make the playoffs, I think it solidifies like, okay, Tom Brady's still very good. Like he's a pretty good quarterback. It's not just all scheme and whatnot. It's not all Bill. Him making it to a Super Bowl, I think, just solidifies how freaking good Tom Brady is at football. If all the championships weren't enough for you, he can do it even outside where all the
how much money could you have made? Again, I wonder if we just looked at the person who's made the most money off of betting on Tom Brady in the postseason, what the total would be.
Right.
It seems like a tried and true strategy, and until it doesn't work, it works.
Right. Whatever scenario brings Brady back next year is what I'm rooting for.
Banjo Matui. Good to see you.
If he wins with the Buccaneers, is there concern that he leaves?
Yeah, you could retire, just ride out, or you could come back and win another one. Who knows? Tom does whatever Tom wants to do. So, Banjo, welcome in. Me and Nick at night. Yeah, you see what I did there?
Don't like that. So, speaking of the Saints and open jobs, there was a little clip where they thought they caught Drew Brees saying to Jameis Winston, "This is your team now." So they have the clip and they have it dubbed over, because they can't actually hear it. But it looks like he's pointing at him and saying, "This is your team now."
Sounds good to me.
Do you find that interesting?
Oh, I find that very interesting. But my thoughts are,
You are fake news.
That could be. I don't know, man. They didn't play him.
So kind of blew up on the Reddits.
What makes me think perhaps that's not the case is that Drew Brees went out and they didn't play him. They played him for the end of one game and said that's enough and didn't try to have him be the quarterback. Obviously, they were still in the hunt.
Trying to keep the price down for him next year?
That could be if they wanted to re-sign him. But if you're Jameis Winston, whatever they offer you, I think you take it. If you're the Saints, you can be you're going to be the guy. You're going to be our quarterback.
Well, here's the thing about the Saints is they have negative money, so they don't even.
They don't have any
money.
Like just come there on a 1-year prove it deal, and if you
gave it all
be
to Taysom
great,
Hill.
Oh my gosh!
I saw that clip to Winston, but heard it was because Winston forgot he wasn't on the Bucs. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, was he talking about the Buccaneers?
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, hey, get out of here. This is your team now. Go back to the Buccaneers.
And are we underselling that the Bucs will play in their home stadium? Is that a factor?
I touched on a little bit. I think it gives you a little bit of an advantage. I'm not sure what the numbers of how many fans they're going to let in and what it's going to look like in there, but it can't hurt them. I think that it was interesting also just that the game was in Green Bay. The weather was pretty good, and Tom coming from an outdoor, Foxborough, having a little bit of that. He had a quote about he thought his blood had thinned out a little bit since he moved to Tampa. He's going to have to, hang out in the freezer for a while, but no, still look good.
Well, and Tom's not, scared of some cold weather.
He's used to it. No excuses. Come on now. We got Super Bowls to win.
All right, starting the second quarter here. Chiefs got on the goal line, down 9-0. It's at least really familiar. Can't hurt. Says what the hell.
Yeah. What the hell? Happy to have you.
What are you doing tonight? You playing some games? Hanging out?
But yeah, also not having to make, the big trip. I'm not sure how just the travel has been affected this year. Isn't something that I've actually seen a lot of reporting on. But it's got to be more convenient to just, not have to make the trip. You're in your hometown. You can probably sleep in your own bed.
I think the Super Bowl usually has probably the least amount of home fans that you would have because you got people from everywhere coming out for Super Bowls. It's not just fans of that team necessarily.
Yeah, but also it's like if you lived in the town and the Super Bowl was going there, maybe you wouldn't travel across the nation to go to a Super Bowl, but it's like, all right, it's my team. They're in our town. We're going. I think it'll be a slight advantage for Tampa Bay, but if they keep the numbers down, That's not known as a stadium that has just massive noise like some of the other ones. But yeah, you gotta look at it from a Tom Brady kind of point of view. At every advantage you can get. If you need to deflate that ball, if you need to
break my balls here.
if you get that little bit of crowd noise, whatever you can get, every advantage, they all add up.
Patty Mahomes to Mecole Hardman for a 3-yard touchdown.
Oh, Mecole making up for the fumble, huh?
Chiefs 6-9, see if they can get that extra point through. So Mahomes now 11 for 15, 83 yards and a touchdown. The foot doesn't seem to be bothering him too much.
No, and that's a good sign if you're a Kansas City fan. If you got Patty Mahomes as your dynasty quarterback, you need him to be great for the years to come.
A little surprising to see CEH available for this one, but early 2 carries, 3 yards, not a whole lot to speak of. Cole Beasley, 1 reception, 17 yards. Travis Kelce, 5 for 40. Travis Kelce still good at football.
Yeah, no, Travis Kelce is very good, and I think he proved that last week and just reaffirming that, and basically this whole year. But let's talk about CEH.
At what point do we take Kelce 1-1? Redraft.
I don't think you do that. But, if you did, it could work out for you. Honestly, if you had done it this year, it probably would have worked out with you over Christian, over Saquon, over.
So, Jane Z with the follow. Thank you very much for that.
Jane.
Welcome in. All right. Yes, Queen says Mars. Yeah.
Hold on, we got it for you. Oh, she's in first in the DFS, so if anything could console you after the Green Bay loss. But, all right, so we were talking about CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Dynasty. And let's talk about the Dynasty implications. How do you feel about him? You're not the owner in Dynasty, but
I'm not.
See a guy that you'd be trying to get right now? I think
he has some positive touchdown regression, and I think he's just going to be a lot better next year than he was this year. I don't think he's going to be a top 5 guy, but I think he is definitely going to be mid to back end running back 1.
Okay, that's interesting. Damian Williams coming back doesn't scare you at all.
No.
I was listening to another Dynasty podcast where they were talking about they felt like he'd get much more involved in the passing game going forward. They did have the shortened preseason because of the COVID.
I don't think it can be understated how hard it is for rookies to come in from college straight into the NFL with no preseason, no camp, no nothing. It's all virtual. And I think it's even harder if you're not as physically gifted as Cam Akers or JT or Swift, where I think they came in just in better physical shape, and CH I think just has to work a little bit harder at it. And I think Andy Reid has a lot of schemes that it's just tough to figure out your role there.
Yeah, it was interesting. He was one that I considered do I try to move Aaron Jones for Clyde Edwards-Helaire? And I don't know. I've not been a huge Clyde Edwards-Helaire guy. I worry about, again, the size is a part of it, but just the way that they use the running back. They're a team that likes to throw before they like to run. He had some trouble in the red zone and kind of got it figured out a little bit as the season went on, but I don't know. He's not the typical kind of prototype running back that you want to have on the goal line. It wouldn't shock me if Damian Williams comes back and at least takes some of that away from him. Right.
But again, the sell is Andy Reid found a way to use Westbrook back in the day. He has a way to use, gadgety, smaller backs like that, and especially in the passing game. So I think you'll see a more expanded role from CH next year. And you could see they tried to get the run going early on. I think CH in the first game had 16 carries. But as the year went on, they just found out we're just going to throw the ball.
Okay.
Throw the ball a lot. So I think it could.
I have some hesitation, but it wouldn't shock me if he does come out and have a better year next year than this year.
Yeah. Bambo, I was surprised Justin Jefferson did so well.
Yeah. I would agree. For where he went in dynasty drafts, he wasn't going as the top wide receiver, but he finished as this is in the top 10 for sure. It was even kind of the upper top 10. I
wasn't going to be surprised if he got somewhat close to Stephon Diggs type numbers or type role. Yeah. Well, I mean, 3 to 4 catches a game for a lot of yardage. That's not uncommon, but he did it every single game. Stephon Diggs kind of ebbed and flowed pretty heavily throughout the season. And Justin Jefferson, I mean, consistently week in, week out, put up, quality numbers. And
yeah, especially once he got going. At the start of the year, there's a couple kind of low ones, and he had some big blow-up games that skewed the numbers a little bit, and then people started paying more attention to him. But yeah, towards the end of the year, he's finishing with good numbers. I don't think he'll have the giant games as much next year. I think that they'll get the defense figured out a little bit. They'll run the ball, but
Justin Jefferson scored that many touchdowns. So I think you could even see more scoring next year. But Thielen's such a good red zone threat that may not go up.
Yeah, and Thielen's getting older, so we'll see how long he's around. But Justin Jefferson's a guy that I'll be glancing at in some of the redraft, seeing where he's going.
Right.
If I had to guess, I'll guess he has a lower finish next year than this year, but I could definitely be wrong, and he could just continue on the upward momentum.
Yeah, I mean, even the Vikings were still bottom third in pass attempts this year, so I think there's even room where they could throw the ball even more. But
all right,
we'll see. Mets Rock, welcome in. I can't believe this is happening. The team that is hosting the Super Bowl will play in it. Yeah, we just covered that a little bit. It'll be cool to see. I'm curious to see if there's any different. I don't know if we'll be able to tell since they're only allowing like a third capacity.
And again, there's that 2-week lead up now from this week to the Super Bowl where I think they're not actually playing a physical Pro Bowl. I believe that's correct. And you're going to hear about it. All you're going to hear about if you watch the news shows and the NFL and ESPN, like it's going to be, it's Tampa Bay and Tampa Bay. Oh, amazing. Like, how is this going to affect the game? And you're going to hear Tom Brady. Yeah, Tom's good. Tom without Belichick.
Yeah. No, it's going to be, there's definitely going to be a lot of that.
This is maybe honestly like my least favorite point of the whole football year is that just that downtime between now and the Super Bowl. But
really now in the draft, or Super Bowl to the draft. Marcio, I hate life right now. It's okay, Marcio. It'll wear off. We're a couple weeks ahead of you in the.
Why do you hate life?
The depression, but
Marcy is a Green Bay Packer fan, and they lost Tom, and it is what it is. The NFC North will not have a representative in the Super Bowl this year.
Something about disgruntled Packer fans and poor coaching decisions make me smile. Sorry, Marcy.
Yeah, we're all trying to be nice to Marcy, but
if Matt Stafford goes to Indy, then what would you think about Pittman? So the word is to Indy, if they sign Stafford, he'd be inexpensive enough where they could buy a wide receiver still. They just powed Stephon Diggs on the ground.
Are you saying pow?
Yeah, no, I like Pittman. Pittman's the guy I'm trying to trade for in Dynasty. Sadly, the guy that I'm trying to get him from is just AFK and not paying attention right now and not responding to anybody. But, Michael Pittman Jr. is a guy I'd definitely be trying to buy in Dynasty. He's a guy that I like for a redraft if you can get him in the later rounds. He's got a big body. He made some good plays. He had one game, and he just never really fully broke out. I think that especially if T.Y. Hilton takes off, he's going to be competing for one of the top wide receiver spots.
B. Bakey, so happy to see the Packers lose. I will sleep well tonight.
Yeah, so we're just letting the hate flow through us.
Banjo Stafford to the Broncos. I don't hate that. I'd probably take Sutton a lot higher if Stafford's on the Broncos. But yeah, Pittman's a big receiver. He looks the part for sure.
Definitely.
If you can get the right guy in there to
I think he's going to be a red zone target. And the only downside is that I think they're still trying to run the ball on that team. But yeah, Pittman, I like him. I like him as a prospect. One of the shows that I listen to is the Dynasty Nerds podcast. So they're all about Dynasty. The guy's got 1,000 teams. And Pittman, they did a redraft where they drafted all the rookies that were taken in this past year's draft and redrafted. Where would they go now? Justin Jefferson actually, I think, went with the 1-1, which was interesting. But Pittman, I think he took it like the 7, 8, or 9, like right in that range. So the first round. So one of the top prospects that came out this year that never, if you were going to try to buy somebody, because a lot of these wide receivers, the old narrative was that they come out, they take a little while to develop. It takes them a year or two. A lot of these guys were showing up right away. Justin Jefferson showed up right away. CeeDee Lamb showed up pretty well. A number of different guys. Brandon Ayuk showed up. And you forget that like some of these guys, even though they didn't blow up right away, they could be very, very good in a year or two. And Pittman, I think, is one of them that fits that category.
Well, again, it takes a season or two for these wide receivers to develop fully. It's rare that the guys are so good this early. So, I mean, there's still hype around, Pittman, Ruggs, Rager. I mean, these guys aren't like fully faded yet. There's still a potential they could return some value for you.
Yeah, Stafford to the Broncos. No, it makes sense. He'd be better than the quarterbacks they've drafted recently. Their guy this year didn't look that good.
Let's see here. Yeah, but you have to at least try. No reason not to, as you're still down by 5 with the
So in the chat, they're talking about the Green Bay decision to not go for it on 4th. And again, I think that maybe if it's Trubisky and the Bears, you don't go for it, and you think your defense can beat him. But Tom Brady, you don't want to give him the ball with 2 minutes and rely on getting the ball back.
I just don't think it makes sense. It's too late in the game to risk it.
So we got a question here. Did Brady win the MVP of the NFC Championship game? If there is an award for that, he deserves it.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he won that and all the other awards, and you just put him on a giant shelf full of trophies somewhere. But yeah, Super Bowl is what he's looking at. Tom played well in that game. He wasn't phenomenal, but he did enough to win.
A crazy stat that I saw, I can't remember what the number was, but the amount of playoff games Tom Brady has played, obviously it's a ton, but when you think of like 16 game seasons, he's played like another 5 seasons worth of playoff games. I mean, it is unbelievable how many games he's actually played compared to, everybody else in his generation.
You play to win the game.
Yeah, man. Like you don't even you're absolutely right. It's something that you don't even consider, like as far as his longevity, because he's one of the oldest quarterback in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
And he has played a number of other games beyond kind of the regular season and still held up. So Tom's a freak and greatest football player to ever live.
Let's see here. I'm trying to see Tom Brady's playoff record.
Yeah, no, that his highlight of the game
33 and 11, I think. Is that right? Yeah. So that's 3 or 4 seasons worth of
that's amazing.
Extra games.
But yeah, no, Mets rock. That pass that he threw at the end of the first half, that was the play of the game for Tom. The best, just the call, the throw, it was right on the money.
When they showed that other angle from behind him, he just sent it. He's just like, I see him. I think he's going to beat him. I'm just going to launch it at the goal, and we'll see what happens.
And the Packers, to their credit, they didn't just give up and roll over. They were competitive.
No,
that
they
game was
fought back.
contested to the end, especially if they had gone for it instead of making a terrible coaching decision and decided to give Tom the ball and never see it again. But hey, it is what it is.
Cram it up your cram hole, LaFleur.
Bambo says definitely was JPP who won the NFC Chip MVP. Gotcha. I don't know about that. Maybe.
But yeah, no, the defense
hopefully
showed
it's not
up.
a ring.
Honestly, one of the things that helped Tampa Bay, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but just their defense. It really showed up. Helped the Packers, who have a strong offense. That game hit the over, though, so
It did.
there were points scored. It was fun
under.
to watch.
Go figure. Not Shaq Barrett. There's a lot of good defensive performances. That Buccaneers defensive line is no joke.
Yeah.
They get it done for sure. Alrighty, so Bills punting it away. They've had a lot of third and longs. 4th and 23 after this latest drive, but Allen's taking a lot of sacks and it's not looking great despite the 9-7 lead.
I need my star players to start showing up.
Yeah,
here.
give us a DraftKings update.
I'm in 8th. So in first we got Steve Areno, Lord Tevis, and then number 2, Nikki B. So you're in the money right now with 100 points. Trailing closely, Marcy O with 99.64.
Get out of here.
AA Costa with 97. Ian 86. Ian's in 5th. So Ian not in last. It looks like all his players.
Your players are playing.
Kaplow with 82. Pocket in 7th with 80. I'm right behind Pocket with 79. Still got my good guys in the game though. Just need some airing it out to happen.
Can we do?
Instead they're running here.
Can we do DraftKings with?
Hold on. Then we got Misbehaving
with only one game
and Adilla Farilla in 9th and 10th.
So Ethan in last, not great there.
He's
Bob.
winning all the tight end bets. He doesn't need to win them all. Come on, you gotta leave some meat on the bone for the rest of us.
Yeah. Look how many times he put the pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and also 2 sacks. I think like 4 quarterback hits.
They're getting good pressure.
Yeah, for sure. Say the Bucks can beat the Bills, and maybe they can beat the Chiefs. And Marcio says, "I hope not." Are you rooting for the Buccaneers to win it all then?
So I would, depending on how it shakes out, I would root for Kansas City over Tampa Bay and root for Tampa Bay over the Bills. That's how I would go.
Okay. Brady getting another ring would just be.
I just want a little webcam of just Bill Belichick watching the game. That's what I want to see.
He's probably smiling,
Doubtful.
No, you don't think he's a Brady fan?
I don't think he smiles.
Nothing for you.
Oh man.
So do you think he's rooting for Tom, or you think
I think him and
you think a little piece of him wants him to lose without him?
No, I think Belichick and him know full well that they weren't going to win a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
It's like, go try and win somewhere else, somewhere that's got already the weapons in place.
Yeah, you didn't hear any big reports, but they do a pretty good job keeping things in-house. If anything, it would just be that now for the rest of his life, he has to hear that all his wins were because of Tom and not because he was a good coach, maybe. But
I don't think I think you're going to see maybe the exact opposite once
he
gets it.
That would be the reason that perhaps Bill would maybe be rooting against him. But I could see him rooting for him. I think they had a good working relationship, if nothing else, and they seem to get along.
Belichick doesn't seem like the type of guy that really get too butthurt about other people's opinions.
Bill seems like he'd just be upset about everything all the time, but
Brady is enough.
Cincinnati.
Like I mean, Bill's to be proud of him. He taught him everything he knows, like a proud papa, but still salty.
Okay. Yeah, proud but salty. I like it. Oh,
right. Mahomes on the
carry
run a
your
little
toe,
bit.
Mahomes. Oh, Kelsey getting it for the touchdown.
Kelsey,
Come on, Trev.
Big old boy. Touchdown.
He is. Man, he looks like a man among boys. And those are all NFL players that he makes look little.
Large and in charge. All right. NIU saying touchdown Kansas City, but I don't know who.
Oh, don't tell us. We got to watch it. We got to watch it live.
Do we? But it's not live if it already happened. You know what I mean?
I do.
Just think about it.
It's live if you believe it's live.
So Tyrod Taylor going to be Detroit's quarterback with Anthony Lynn going there?
No, after that popped along, that was probably the end. You could just go mentor young quarterback.
That's kind of the hype. Right now.
I don't know, man.
Not into it. Dwayne Haskins, Steelers quarterback, into that?
No, I think Dwayne also showed that he wasn't very good.
Darrell Williams up the middle for a 6-yard touchdown.
So Williams, he's been good this year.
What about your Williams? You a little worried?
No, I'm excited for Damian Williams to come back. And here's the thing, though, is it'll be interesting to see moving forward. We haven't had a lot of reports that I've seen about what the NFL is going to look like this year, partially because they just don't know. We got to wait and see. But, like, how are the protocols going to look with the COVID stuff? Are they going to have players that are able to opt out next year? I think that Damian Williams, the story that I saw is he opted out because I think it was his mom had cancer. And I don't know, what the update on that is.
Gotcha.
So he had a good reason, so I respect that. But, like, maybe he's still worried about her health and things like that. I don't know. The vaccines are coming out, blah, 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 but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I would imagine that players won't be given the option to opt out. I think that, all the guys that did opt out this year, if vaccines are going out, I think they'll play. He was good. So what gives me hope that he's going to be good is when the two of them were together on the team, Damian Williams is better than Darrell Williams. Yes.
I don't
He got a lot more of the opportunity. He got a lot more of the touchdowns, a lot more of the yardage. And Darrell's been able to achieve without Damian there. So if
is
they plug
Mostert
him
better
back
than
in,
Jeff Wilson?
Jeff Wilson, yeah. Mostert's much better than Jeff Wilson.
You think so?
Absolutely.
You think
When
Breida is
he's
better
healthy
than
in that.
Mostert? Because
Say what?
Breida and Mostert were interchangeable in the 49ers offense.
So Mostert is better than
Before.
Breida, but yeah, I don't know. Again, I think if he comes back, Williams is going to be good.
I think they're all the same. Whoever you put
If
there
he's
is
out
gonna
there on
produce.
Dynasty waivers, because somebody in our league, we did it where we let the players, if they opted out, the person gets the option when the next year starts to pick them back up before other people get to him. So I will be picking Damian Williams back up when the waivers open again. And I'm not sure exactly what his contract situation is either. I'm not sure how the guys that opted out, it affects that. But
I don't think
if
he's
he's going to be
gonna return
on
any
Kansas
value.
City, I'm gonna have him on the team and see what happens.
Can you start Le'Veon Bell right now?
No.
Can you start CH right now?
No.
Can you start Darrell Williams right now?
Well, CH, can you start rephrase the
It's now the Eagles' backfield. I don't want any of them.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire you can start
I don't
if
want
he's
him.
healthy.
No, I don't think so.
If he's healthy and Damian's there, those will be the two guys you can start.
You can't start
Le'Veon
him
Bell
right
won't
now.
be there. The other Williams won't play.
I don't know. I think CH is due for a rebound, which I'm fading all the other options. But if I'm taking anybody, I'm taking CH, and I'm not interested in the rest, I don't think.
Marcy says the only thing that cheers her up is that ice cream Geico commercial. Everybody's on the ice cream train tonight. It just got avocado ice cream.
Bamboo asked earlier when we're going to do a Sleeper app mock. So we could do a mock draft here. Actually, I think on Sleeper, we'd have to get friends with everybody or send an invite out to do that. But yeah, we could do a Sleeper mock.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I always like to mock. We could do the way too early mock draft. We could do the dynasty mock. I don't know that they have all the
CNIU, I agree. Williams is equal to Williams to me. Yeah, they're just Jags.
Damian's better than Darrell.
You sure?
That's my take. And if he's back, he'll be the guy over Darrell.
I don't know. I love this tag team Geico commercial.
Everybody on the Geico commercials. Huh?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Got a number of
Everybody's feeling it.
quarterbacks, a number of the successful quarterbacks showing up in insurance commercials. So if you don't have your insurance, just go
You can get it now.
meet a championship quarterback, and they'll tell you who you should buy your insurance from.
Josh Gordon, out again.
Yeah, no, Josh Gordon's not a thing. He's
Man.
not.
When Josh Gordon was a thing, though,
No, he's
man,
not.
was
He's
he a
not.
thing.
Stop trying to make Josh Gordon happen.
You don't even remember how good Josh Gordon was.
I remember
at
he was
football.
in great physical shape, but
I don't even think you fully remember peak Antonio Brown. Peak
him
Antonio
out with a
Brown.
decoy.
Like if you think of Devontae Adams this year, peak Antonio Brown was like better.
That's what the numbers said that you read up
Just
earlier
better.
about the most 20-plus
And
yard
Josh
reception
Gordon,
touchdowns.
his couple years were even better. It was a thing to watch. Josh Gordon was scoring from just all over the place on a Browns team that won like a half a game. It was crazy.
Nah, Josh Gordon, never again. Sorry, buddy.
Some hype around some guys that are on your waivers probably. Cameron Brate, Chris Herndon. Chris Herndon still getting hype. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like every offseason we hear the
I know.
same Chris Herndon talk.
People think he's talented. He's going to have a better head coach, and maybe they throw it to him. I don't know, man. That's Chris Herndon I'm staying away from. But
Wait, what company is Baker's commercial? Allstate. Baker's got some good ones too.
Oh,
I
Baker
like Baker's commercials.
Baker's commercials might be my favorite as far as just comical, quarterbacks.
Jacoby Brissett, rumors potentially a reunion back with New England.
Nah,
I don't know if that really, gets the juices flowing at all.
not at all.
Yeah, probably not interested there. Auden Tate, D.D. Westbrook, not interested.
Dede, he's fairly young. He's going to have Trevor Lawrence, and just it'd be interesting to see how things shake out if Trevor starts to favor a guy, and it looks like that's his man. Then I'm down to try and get that guy with a young, good quarterback, but it probably won't be Dede. He missed a good chunk of the season, if not all of it, this year.
So let's say Godwin goes somewhere else, right? Let's say Godwin goes to anywhere, Detroit. Scotty Miller go up your board at all? Antonio Brown move up your board at all?
Again, I did say that I stashed Tyler Johnson, the rookie on Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
If one of those guys can emerge as kind of the third option, we got to see it tonight without Antonio Brown, so we'll see if Antonio Brown's back. But if Godwin and Antonio Brown are gone, then Tyler Johnson and remind me, Scotty Miller, those are the two guys that, I think they're definitely worth a stash to see if one of them can kind of cement themselves as that number 2 on the team.
Bimbo says Lions will have either the Heineken guy or Fitzmagic. Fitzmagic on the Lions
feels like a Lions quarterback. He feels like a Bears quarterback or a Lions quarterback.
Yeah. If he comes to the Bears, I'm in.
I'm down.
I'm in.
Like,
if we want to lose some games
God.
and watch Fitzmagic just
be a
let the ball
fun
loose.
train wreck to be a part of.
Yeah, it'd be like having a color
are
again.
who we thought they were.
And I gotta change it to Fitzmagic's passing out biscuits, baby. So I'll see what my sound editing skills can.
All right, Bill's
achieve.
third manageable here. 8.5 minutes left here in the second quarter.
So CJ Uzama is rostered in our Dynasty League right now. That is correct. Somebody grabbed him off of the waivers. It wasn't me, but
yeah, I think
I did see that he got picked up. So they must have been watching our old shows where I was just hyping up CJ Uzama. But Drew Sample's out there on our waivers. There are a couple of people that believe that maybe he takes a step forward this year. I think that I saw enough from him this year to not believe that he's going to be elite. He might turn into a usable guy who gets a touchdown here and there, but I don't think he's ever going to be the next Hawkinson kind of level guy.
Where do you see Damian Harris for next year for the Patriots?
Oh, I don't want the Patriots. That's one of the other ones. It's just the Patriots backfield. They just go towards guys and they go away from guys, and you never know what's going to happen. If Cam's gone, I like all of the running backs better because Cam ran in so many touchdowns on the goal line. Damian Harris, it sounds like his talent's good, but he had injuries this year. Sony Michel, he's still there. Is he a free agent? I don't think he's a free agent.
I don't think he's a free agent yet. I think he's got
Rex Burkhead will likely be gone. James White is a free agent for sure, so we'll see what happens with them. But if it's just Sony and Harris, and they're the only guys that are around that seem to be, but they also have another rookie that's gotten a little bit of hype, whose name I forget. But
Bambo says, you think Pitts will be a top 5 tight end this upcoming season? I think the stats would say no.
Generally, the narrative has been that it takes a little while for tight ends to develop. It depends on where he goes. If he goes to a good landing spot where they want to use him, I think he's got the talent to be that. But I would say top 10, not top 5, is if I was putting money down.
Yeah, top 5 is pretty tough. I know he's supposed to be special, so it depends on landing spot. Here's the thing. If he goes to like the Falcons, yeah, I'll put him top 5. No problem. There's like a couple weird landing spots where they've proven to use the tight end. If you went to the Chargers, I'd probably put him up there towards the top 5.
Yeah,
there's a couple spots where I'd be definitely more interested.
So I'll talk about a couple dynasty holds though. So a guy that I shopped around to try and get some picks for, like an early second, I was worried about was Brandon Cooks, just because I was worried about Deshaun taking off. I didn't know what his quarterback situation could be. He's got a little bit of concussion history. Nick makes it sound like he's one hit away from death, but
he is.
He's fine. He had like a 1 second where they were checking him this year, and he played through it. He played like the majority of games.
Look at any report online. It says the doctors told Brandon Cooks he shouldn't play football anymore, and he said, "I'd rather die."
Well, there you go.
It was essentially what happened.
That kind of heart, you can't find that everywhere. But no, his value is very low this year, and I think that the first couple games, if they have a quarterback and if Will Fuller's out, he's going to be the number one wide receiver on the Texans, and I would maybe try to sell him high after those first couple games. Let me tell you where he finished this year, though, because you're going to be surprised.
No, I know he was very good this year. He probably finished at top 14, 15.
So let's see. If we look in ours.
Bambo, where do you think Fuller lands this offseason? There's a couple spots. Again, I think it's going to be the usual suspects here. Miami's probably not, but Detroit's in the mix. I don't think Green Bay is going to pay for him. I don't think they're going to spend the money, so probably not there. Outside shot for the Colts, maybe. I don't know. Will Fuller's an interesting one.
He is, and
maybe the Bears.
It'll all depend on where he lands, so it's hard. You don't want to speculate too much. So Brandon Cooks finished as a wide receiver 16, and he finished above Amari Cooper. He finished above Claypool. He finished above Juju. Finished above Terry McLaurin. Finished above DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, Robbie Anderson. Like, that's a very good finish. And I looked at it, so I was like, all right, maybe his average was high, maybe he just played more games. So I looked at the average, and the season average, if you look at him, he was still very close to that. His finish
we know he's been good.
Was 18, and he was again above Robert Woods, above Terry
you're taking his
McLaurin, above
quarterback
Crowder,
away.
above CeeDee Lamb.
You're taking if Deshaun Watson's not there, I don't want Brandon Cooks anywhere near my roster.
Brandon Cooks is one of those guys. If we're making an argument for like one of the most just chronically undervalued, disrespected wide receivers, who's actually been very good. He's had multiple 1,000-year seasons, and that's with moving from team to team. And the narrative is like when guys go to new teams, they're not as good.
But you're underselling that those teams were Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Goff is obviously. I'm not going to say that's a great one.
Yeah.
And then Deshaun Watson, who's another good one. So 3 out of your 4 quarterbacks have been, future Hall of Famers potentially.
And the point I would make is just I think that if you've got Cooks, I would say hold him if you've got him and try to trade for him if you don't have him. The only thing I would maybe wait on is if the quarterback situation changed, then maybe you could buy him for lower.
I think Brandon Cooks is the easiest sell in the league.
You're not getting anything for him. You're not getting near what his value, what his actual numbers are right now.
I don't think he's going to bring back even the value you can get for him now.
He's been very consistent over the past 4 years of getting you.
If Deshaun for sure goes, I'd drop him.
That depends on who comes in because they'll have a quarterback. I don't know who it'll be, but they'll have a quarterback.
The Bears have a quarterback, but that doesn't mean the wide receiver 2 is going to be any good. I mean,
I think Brandon Cooks is vastly better than those wide receivers, and also he's the wide receiver 1 on that team, especially if Fuller goes somewhere.
I disagree.
All right, and the other guy that I was going to talk about is that's hard to know what to do with Zach Ertz. He's just a hold if you've got him. Zach Ertz had an awful year, but the years before he's shown that he's got talent. I don't know what was going on with him. He was injured for a little bit there, and I think
he's just getting old now.
The value you get for him now, but he's not as old as Kelsey.
He is.
I don't think he is. Let's double check. I can give you the age on him, but he's getting up there a little bit. But I think that I would hold Zach.
He's 30.
And I think he'll return more value. He's going to go low, especially with the year he had, and he might be a guy just if he's going in those later rounds, maybe you take a chance on throwing on your team. But
yeah, he's 30 and Kelsey is 31, so he's a year younger than Kelsey.
And Kelsey's doing pretty good.
Kelsey's doing pretty good, but Kelsey's been doing good.
Kelsey's good.
If Ertz goes to the right situation, I'm back in.
Where do I think Will Fuller lands in the offseason? That's an interesting question. There's a lot of landing spots. There's places that people need. A guy that I just traded for in Dynasty was Juju Smith-Schuster. So Juju's one of those guys who's going to be a free agent. Sounds like he probably won't be back with the Steelers. And I'm a little bit rooting for Miami. I want to see some guys go to Miami so they can kind of just emerge as the number one guy. The 49ers have been batted around, but they've got, they got Debo and they've got Ayuk, but they don't have kind of he's probably not a great fit.
The way
there.
their guys go down, they need
that's true.
6 wide receivers and 6 running backs.
The Washington football team is another one that I heard is a place. They've only got Terry and nobody else is good. They've had some young guys that got hurt, so maybe they're coming back and if they get excited about them. But Washington's probably looking for a wide receiver. Don't know what their quarterback situation is going to be. That one maybe scares me.
It's actually another Stafford landing spot that a lot of people would be hyped for is Stafford to Washington. I mean, that I'd move Terry up a lot of boards. I mean, he's already pretty high.
Washington's kind of in that win. Washington's in a pretty decent spot, especially if they can find a quarterback. They got a good defense. Their star on the defense. They just drafted. They got Terry, who's still on a rookie contract. They've got Antonio Gibson, who's on a rookie contract. They've drafted well. They found some stars. And if they can give them a quarterback, I think that Washington could be a sneaky team just to return some fantasy value, especially if they add like one more good wide receiving piece. Hey, Bear fan Paul. I think he's coming to us from Florida today. So hitting the golf balls like Nikki's neck of the woods.
A little warmer there than here today.
Yeah.
Banjo, I was thinking Wentz Ertz to Indy could be interesting. Even I don't think Wentz is leaving, but even if you put Stafford and Ertz or Andy Dalton and Ertz or really any of the decent quarterbacks and Ertz there, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Carson Wentz, if you get excited for Carson Wentz being somewhere. He's a guy I'd be worried about. He didn't have great reasons to be awful this year. His wide receivers weren't great, but I think Wentz might just be bad, and I don't know for sure.
Based on the recent hires and the coaching hires for the Eagles, it seems like they're going to try and build around Wentz.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess they're kind of in a hold pattern for now.
Hold on, I think
if they hire McCown a head coach, some reports I've been hearing is their head coach can start from them. Go ahead.
Bear fan Paul will want to hear our drop we made.
Packers suck.
So it's a little faint, but we got Peyton Manning's take on the Packer game there.
Their head coach can start from them.
Travis to get in. Oh, they mark him down at the 1. Give me a challenge. Travis leaping through the air trying to get into the end zone.
So McCown being the head coach and the reserve quarterback, or being the quarterback for Houston,
a player coach.
He's getting interviewed as the coach potentially.
The old hockey teams used to do that, I believe. So Blackhawks season started. They beat the Red Wings 2 days ago, I think by like 3 goals. So Blackhawks.
They lost their first game though.
New goalie. This isn't the first game. This is, I think, the second game.
Bulls though.
We don't want to talk about that first game. They were just warming up.
Bulls actually showing.
I don't know if I'm here for the Bulls.
Skills. No.
If they get going, maybe I'll glance at it.
Yeah. No, they got a lot of good rookies and
Basketball.
Billy Donovan, new coach, really good.
Basketball is basically just ballet with a ball now.
Is it though?
Yeah, just jump around.
I don't know. All right, who gets this touchdown? You think 1 yard line? You going Darryl again?
I could use a sneaky little play to Travis. That sounds good to me. If they want to.
Check DraftKings and see how many of us played Travis Kelce.
It has to be everybody, but
I feel like that's one of those.
At least put me over the one guy that didn't. The person who tried to sneak Tanyan in there.
Oh man! Alrighty, what other questions do you guys have for us tonight?
So let's see. So you want to hear some of the numbers? Yeah. So this is on DraftKings. Devin Singletary with 2.8 points. A.J. Dillon, although he got into the game because Aaron Jones went down, only finished with 4. Devontae Adams, 21.7 points. Tyreek Hill right now with only 8.2, but he can blow up at any time. Stephon Diggs, your boy, 3.2 points. That's not going to get it done for me. I made all that room and threw these studs on the bench for 8 and 3, but the game could pick
for 12 yards.
Let's see this Kelce replay. Oh,
we got to check this time of possession. I feel like
Kelce, though, who we did all play, 18.2 points and just continues to be the most talented guy in the room. Man,
you have to put him in there. CH touchdown. Yep. Bear fan Paul.
Gliding in there. Weren't sure if he was going to play today. I talked about earlier. We were a little worried about him in the red zone, but he just gets a good hole right up the middle. Sneaky little guy. Sneaking in.
Doing the nutcracker. Jack in the box.
Let's see if we can get one here for Clyde.
5 rushes, 10 yards. Let's see. I'm trying to get a time of possession here, if we can.
All right, you pull that up. So let's see other guys that we want to talk about.
10 minutes to 15 and a half. So Kansas City's had it for an extra 5 minutes in this game, which it feels like they've had it more.
Yeah. So Tyreek Hill's a guy that I might actually, if I wasn't going to running back in the first round, be one of the guys I might take a chance on as a wide receiver in the first round.
Tyreek Hill is one of those that still
had a lot better consistency this year.
He still scares me though. Like I'm looking at him in Dynasty, and it's just a guy that I don't know if I want to pay up for. Because if you do have an off-field issue, you go from full value to 0.
Yeah, that's true. 0. He's had some of that in the past, and
I think that's always a concern.
Yeah, that's true.
His type of guys, once they lose a step, they stop being as productive, which is another tough loss. You'd rather have the guys that make their money because of their routes and their size.
Dynasty, I'd be a little bit more worried because in Dynasty I have Pat Mahomes. I wanted that stack. I've made some pretty good offers, but haven't got him. But in redraft, I'm definitely thinking next year he's not going to lose the step next year.
Yeah, no, I'd take him high in redraft still.
All right,
I'm feeling that. Let's see here. I saw Christian Kirk is another interesting guy. He was traded in our Dynasty League. Are you buying into the wide receiver 2 slot in Arizona?
a little bit. So Christian Kirk had some big games in the middle of the year, and then he faded away. But the reason that he's going to move up is Andy Isabella, rookie they took. It sounds like things haven't gone real well with him. He's running the wrong routes. He doesn't know what's going on. He hasn't really emerged. The other guy is Larry Fitzgerald, probably my favorite player. One of my favorite guys in the NFL. Just all around good guy from everything I've seen. He's very likely going to retire. He might just come back, but
he loves playing football.
You could almost just give him the money to be the coach, and you're never going to be on the field, but you can still call you a player, and we'll just give you this money, and you can, But no, I think Larry, if he's there, they got to really shrink his role. But he had a couple games where he showed up, got some receptions, but it's about time for him to retire.
Yeah.
So that leaves Christian Kirk. It's Hopkins, and then it'd be Kirk. Kirk's got good speed. He's made some good catches.
So if Arizona,
they want to throw the ball.
If Arizona signs Aaron Jones, where are you seeing Aaron Jones? Where are you valuing?
Aaron Jones should be probably a top 10 running back, I think.
In that offense, I feel like you would want more than that. You would want top 5, top 3. No?
Again, they like to throw the ball. They didn't run the ball great. They're just set up. They got Kyler, who's going to take some of that rushing work. He might rush in a touchdown. But I think that'd be a good fit for him because they don't pound. They don't need a bruising running back. And
right.
Aaron Jones, he just doesn't look like a guy who can just get a ton of work and just be smashing it like, Derrick Henry. He's got a slighter build. But
he's
they
more
can get
elusive,
him. They can get him involved in the receiving game. If you could have kind of a...
Speaking of another running back, let's say Taysom Hill is your starting quarterback for the Saints.
Okay.
Do you still feel the same about
I
Alvin
fade
Kamara?
I'm hard passing on Kamara. And
Chad, how do you feel about Kamara, let's say,
Taysom?
with Taysom Hill being the quarterback?
No,
I'm
thanks.
interested to hear the chat's thoughts on that one.
No, God,
All right,
please,
Chiefs kicking
no,
off here
no,
with 4 minutes
no.
left in the second half or the first half.
If I was a Kamara owner, I don't know if anything could depress me more than if I heard that Taysom Hill was going to be the quarterback for his team.
Yeah.
If they bring in another guy, almost any other guy,
Right.
besides Lamar, and Lamar likes to throw it to the tight end, which
So-
obviously that's never going to happen.
Kamara with Taysom or Saquon healthy week 1.
I don't like, but Saquon's the answer, but I don't
Okay.
like Saquon. I don't want Saquon.
I see a lot of places still putting Saquon as their number 2 running back.
That's what they said this year. And how'd he do? Not great. Even the 2 games he was in, I lost those to the one. I lost those games because Saquon was so bad. His team's bad.
Man.
He's old. He's got multiple injuries that have been significant. He's missed another year. He's not going to be what he was his freshman year or his rookie year. He's not going to have that same explosiveness. He's not going to have that burst. He's not going to be as good.
I mean, he's getting a little older now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been enough years now that
Older, and he hasn't been able to be working out like an NFL running back needs to kind of
but
maintain
he's had a couple years off basically of not getting hit.
There's not a lot of miles, I guess.
Is there value in
If
that?
you wanted to spin a narrative for him, that would be fresh legs, man. I'm not in it.
I feel like he is in a more similar mold to Derrick Henry though than he is to Christian McCaffrey. So
One of the reasons...
do you think Derrick Henry is good long term still?
Yeah, Derrick Henry's a monster.
Okay.
One of the reasons that I am not on Saquon as well is because if you're wrong, it's so devastatingly costly. Like if you take him with the second pick, as I did in one league, didn't want to, but I did it. They pressured me. Then if he's not good, you're just wrecked because you took a bad running back on a bad team with your second. I'm not even saying he's a bad running back, but
if he is healthy, it's hard to imagine him finishing outside the top 5 to 6.
it's not hard for me to imagine that because it's just he goes and he plays for the Giants and the Giants are bad and they're not good and he's not good.
I think you're missing the scope of how good he is at football.
No, I think he was good. He had a real good year there. I saw that year. I was there for the whole Saquon arc of his career.
I didn't know you were such an injury fader. And
It's not one injury though. It's
I think you're buying too
multiple
much into the
injuries.
recency bias here. Just because we haven't
Gonna
seen
miss
him
time.
doesn't mean he's not
He's
good.
on a bad team. Like, he should never go second. He shouldn't have gone second last year, and I knew it. And I stepped in the trap.
I'm still okay.
I'm the fool.
High.
Covered in green slime.
I bought it. Oh, man.
Anyways, all right.
Let's see here. I'm looking through a couple players here, and I just see Travis Fulgham's name here. Foghorn Leghorn. What a good little brief period of the season we had.
Shined like a diamond in the
just had what?
Burnt out like.
Look at this. 50 and a half, 36, 20, 12, 20. We thought he was a thing, and then nothing.
Oh,
And
read
then
about. What do we got? We got 1130052.
Oh man.
What a meteoric rise and fall.
I know. I almost paid up for that guy.
Oh,
I almost paid for him.
Lucky you didn't do it.
Okay, this leads us kind of into an interesting one though. Odell Beckham Jr.
So Odell just got moved in our dynasty league, so he got
did.
traded away from our new owner Greg, my brother broski. I don't know which word I was going. Brobragawira.
Both of them?
No, we're not related. But anyways, traded him away, and I think he got a couple picks, and he just traded for Gus Edwards, so that's an interesting one. Gus Bus, running back for the Ravens. Ravens let Mark Ingram go. So as of right now, Gus is the number 2 running back for a team that wants to run the ball. He had some flashes where he looked good. Didn't get into the end zone a lot, but I actually like acquiring Gus Edwards in Dynasty. And also, if Dobbins goes down and he can be the workhorse, he's got a build where he could stand up to the work.
I mean, it's a valuable position there.
I think so.
Yeldon here with a reception, so Bills keep moving. They're
You started Yeldon on your DFS. Why doesn't he throw it to Diggs? Is Diggs not out there today?
No, Diggs is out there. He's had a couple tough attempts at catches. He's got 4 or 5 targets, though. It's fine. There's still a lot of game left. The thing is, they're down by a lot now, so they're going to have to start throwing it soon.
I'm going to ask you, so is Diggs a sell high candidate at all in your mind?
Absolutely not.
It doesn't cross your mind at all? Okay.
No, I don't. I like Devontae Adams. He's the only one I like more than Diggs at this point.
Okay.
Going into next year.
And not a lot should change. It's just the only reason would be that sometimes when guys have such a good year that it's obviously tough to repeat.
Yeah, but
he had good health.
Again, it's not like he had like an astronomical amount of yards and few catches. It's not like he had like low targets and he was hyper efficient. I mean, everything just scaled up, and he looks good. And they want to throw. But yeah, no, I'm still taking him high. I know you're probably not taking him there.
I don't think I'll take Diggs high enough as to where he's going. I think that if he was in redraft, though, and he fell to a certain spot, I'd definitely be in on him. Kicking myself. That was the one that I believed in this year, that I just liked how low he was going, thought that he could come out and be real good. And, never happened where it shook out that I got away with him, but he was really good. A guy that I was also right on that actually went well until the suspension, Will Fuller, though, is another name we talked about a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see where he's going in some of these mock drafts, because he's a guy that, if you can wait through those first couple of games and he comes back, he could blow up if he's got a good situation. But the same thing
happens every time. He just misses time for a different reason. So I don't know that at some point you have to calculate into his value. That's why he goes so late.
Yeah, and again, if he's not on the PEDs that he was using that got him suspended, maybe those injuries come back. I think is another thing that sticks in your mind a little bit.
Yeah, I don't honestly. You hear a lot of these people. It's like, oh, they tried to get into the league, using steroids. Okay, you can make a ton of money, and all they're going to do is fine you and kick you out of the league. They're not going to take your money away from you.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And I understand it completely.
No, never got into that, but yeah, it makes sense. Like, oh, you mean I could be much more muscular and strong and good at sports? Like, oh, that sounds like a pretty good drug.
That seems okay. OBJ though, are you buying, selling, holding?
No, I was a sell on OBJ at the start of the year before he was injured. No, he's just.
OBJ or Mike Williams?
This is not my kind of guy.
No, I'm not an OBJ guy. Mike Williams for me.
Interesting. OBJ or Cooks? Guess who take Cooks?
Oh gosh, like the only reason I would say OBJ is because I could take the name and trade it for more than I can for Cooks, who again, not a lot of interest from the league, but honestly, it wouldn't shock me at all if Cooks has a better fantasy year. If he has Deshaun, 100% Cooks. If he has somebody else, less,
less
60-40.
All right, so we're reaching halftime here. Bills have the ball. If you have any last-minute questions, get them in now. We are going to be putting this up on YouTube. So
Yep.
if you want to check out a rebroadcast of this,
if you
can hang out
find
there.
us on YouTube, we stream live on Twitch, and we will have next week. We will do a show. We'll have to figure out a time for it. We'll let you know in the Discord. We'll put it on our Twitch channel time.
Yeah, we might do a Tuesday show. Start our off-season
Thinking
shows.
about that.
So, do you know who Mr. Beast is?
I do. I'm familiar.
So he just put out a video a few weeks ago where he was giving out money to Twitch streamers, right?
Okay.
So they load up, they get all set. The first streamer's there. He's doing his thing. They donate $10,000 to him, right? And the guy's not responding. It was a rebroadcast of his stream from earlier.
Oh.
So the guy wasn't even live. It was a rebroadcast of an old show. So they just spent $10,000 on no reaction. And the guy messaged later was like, hey, did you guys donate money? So they got completely nothing for the whole.
You can tell
whole
Mr.
first
Beast that
10
we're
grand.
streaming live on Twitch and we don't play the replays on here.
That's not going to happen. Marcio hitting us up with that Discord link. Thank you, Marcio.
So the Discord, we've been active. There's a couple of us that are in there. We talk during the games, throughout the week, just kind of share some
Marcio, I think you're
silly memes and gifts.
I think you got also mod privileges in the Discord now. So I think you can
moving on
make
up.
some edits there as well. So don't abuse that privilege.
Here we go.
NIU says I need to do better.
That's
fine.
it. We
Try again next week.
we're jumping in on different spots, and
It is a party. We
it is.
like
It is.
taking it out.
I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
So how done is Tevin Coleman?
Man, pretty done.
Pretty much done, right?
So sorry about that one. He had that one burst of good last year.
I know. What a great time to sell.
Yeah, that was maybe one of the only big mistakes I've seen Nick make in the
Tevin Coleman or
dynasty.
Jordan Howard. It wasn't a mistake. I got Diggs out of that deal. Mixing for Diggs, I still feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, no, I didn't even realize. But again, just the Coleman piece, then you feel better about it.
Yeah.
But
No, it wasn't looking good there for a while. But yeah, you want Jordan Howard or Coleman?
no,
I'm just goofing.
I couldn't agree more.
New boot goofing.
And does anybody want Jimmy Garoppolo anymore?
you could throw Garoppolo on a team and just, if you got at the end of your bench and see what happens if he comes back. But he's fairly young. He's been a starter. He played on a good team. No, he's not a fantasy quarterback. He's a scheme quarterback.
I was listening to some of the Pat McAfee show, and he was talking about how much he liked Garoppolo. Like, I don't get it.
Marcy says, I want Jimmy G.
Not mean.
Oh.
Had your kids, had your wife.
Inappropriate. Minshew, is he going somewhere?
Minshew Mania, Minshew is actually a guy that could land in a spot. If nothing else, as a backup for sure. But
Let's say Minshew to the Colts. Are you
Minshew could also be just a fun
fun mustache?
fire
look at
ride.
every once in a while.
A fun ride, on the Bears. If we get him in there, we get Minshew, we get Fitzmagic, and they just alternate back and forth.
I love Pat McAfee's show. So I wasn't super into the Pat McAfee show, and then I started listening to it probably a few weeks ago, and I've been getting more and more into it. He's pretty funny. I like the way he kind of outlines some of his stories. He's a little over explains some of the things, but it's all right. I enjoy it. He's pretty funny.
You gotta craft the story. You gotta spin the yarn.
He's got an enjoyable take though on the league that I find very interesting. So I don't know about AJ Hawk. Let's get weird. I'm still feeling out AJ Hawk. I don't know. We'll see. Kerryon Johnson, another one. I think we're all fading him at this point, right?
It depends on where he lands, but Kerryon was good for a little while there. Had the injuries, didn't do anything this year.
Is he a free agent?
He is, I believe. So
I didn't think he was, but he very well might be.
I might be misspeaking. And again, I haven't paid a lot of attention to Kerryon's situation, but no, I think that he just fizzled out, kind of in that Coleman territory of a guy. Maybe he pops up in a game and has one good game. And you're like, oh, hey, Kerryon Johnson.
You thought you had another starting running back, and then the Swift pick happened, and then you knew
really
it was,
wrecked
it was
his
probably
value.
not going to happen.
But yeah, even the thought of them maybe being kind of a two-headed monster, that didn't materialize. It was Adrian Peterson getting the work.
Marcio says Aaron Rodgers is always on that show, right? Yeah, they do it like a weekly Monday or Tuesday with Aaron Rodgers. So
Aaron Rodgers. Now he's got.
I gotta give credit. I saw a post in earlier. I forgot about the Aaron Rodgers when he tried to high five the ref last week. I did enjoy that little
shutdown.
little
No one
outtake
likes Aaron
there.
Rodgers, and now Aaron can be on the show because he's got all the free time in the world.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays. There you go. That's it. Bear fan Paul.
Oh, here we go.
Which order do you draft him in next year? Zeke, Saquon, Akers, JT, James Robinson, and Montgomery.
All right, for me, Jonathan Taylor, Akers, Montgomery, Robinson, Zeke, Saquon.
So I was trying to do some valuation, and I was looking at the Dynasty just overall rankings. They had JT at 5.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor had good years behind a good line. He stayed healthy. He's young.
5's pretty high.
They didn't abuse him his first year, so he's got, I think Jonathan Taylor's going to be good.
All right. So what was your order?
Oh, I do it again? All right. So I think I went with Jonathan Taylor first. I want to say I said Akers, Robinson, Montgomery. Maybe Montgomery, Robinson I could switch. And then Zeke, Saquon.
I'm going JT, Zeke, Akers. No, JT, Zeke, Saquon, Akers, Robinson, Montgomery.
And I want to reiterate that I could definitely be wrong about Zeke and Saquon. They could both have great years, but I personally am out on them. I think that the chances of them having a much lower end of season ranking than where they get drafted is high, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you have the exact opposite fault that I have. I have fault for looking too much at historical
But
data.
he was good before.
And I think you have a fault of not looking at it enough. I think you fade injury and age, and I fade youth and inexperience. And I think that's what makes the show actually fairly interesting. But
Now, how hurt was Zeke? That's another thing. Is
I don't think he was hurt at all.
That's what I think.
I think the whole offensive line was hurt, and I think the quarterback was hurt.
I just had Zeke, so I watched a lot of those end-of-year games, and he just didn't look good at all. And then he came out with kind of having an injury, and it wasn't probably really an injury. And then he's like, "Oh,
I
they're
get
going to
that,
miss
but
a game."
Dave Montgomery didn't look good at all for the first 10 weeks of the year either, until he started playing bad defenses, and the actual offensive line played well. I don't think the defensive line or the offensive line for the Cowboys was just hurt all throughout the year, and you lose Dak. It makes your team very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
And I think
makes
that
sense.
played out.
Those are good points. I don't know that those problems are necessarily going to be fully fixed next year. David Montgomery.
Don't get me wrong, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people fading Zeke.
The other thing with David is just Tariq Cohen will come back.
Cohen sucks.
And it sucks that he's coming back because I worry that the Bears, Nagy will try to get too cute and will try to do those little scheme things with Cohen, and it'll just take away good work from Montgomery where he could be more productive for a higher percentage of plays. Maybe Tyreek busts a long one now and then, but just all the ones that go the wrong direction and aren't useful. Again, we talked about going into this year, how much passing work he got, how many targets he had, and it was a huge amount of targets, like around 100. And he had almost no fantasy points because they'd throw it to him and he wouldn't go anywhere, and it wasn't good.
They weren't good targets.
It wasn't good.
Cohen sucked.
Yeah, Trubisky's not really known for his check down ability.
So that'll make a big difference too. Who the quarterback is will impact that.
For sure. I think the biggest scenario is who's our quarterback. If the quarterback's good, I'm more interested in all the pieces. If the quarterback's bad, I don't want any of them. I'll put him in Eagles territory. If Allen Robinson goes somewhere else and the quarterback's a rookie, I'm out. See ya. Why is Yeldon in? Because I bet Singletary under 9.5 carries and they hurt. That's why.
Yeldon had a little bit of hype when he went to the team and just has been nothing for the Bills.
Well, again, they don't like to run the ball. If they do want to run the ball, they have Josh Allen for that. So Yeldon just is there as a receiving threat. So he kind of fits right in. I think I heard earlier they had, Tremaine Williams played for two different teams in this playoffs. Did you hear that?
Say again?
The Tremaine Williams or Edmonds, I can't remember which one.
Edmonds is a linebacker.
Played for two different teams in this postseason.
Oh, okay, so it's not the linebacker for the Bills. Okay, no, I had heard that just in passing. I mean, I'm not real familiar with the guy, but that's pretty neat.
Interesting stat.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we got fourth and goal from the Kansas City 2 after Josh Allen to Dawson Knox. So 4th down, 2 yards, see if they can get it done. I don't think they go for the extra point or the field goal here, but we'll see. 21 seconds left.
Now, against Kansas City, I'm not sure who's going to get the ball back after the half, but yeah, you would imagine you want to get the touchdown here. But That's kind of one of the things I was saying about the Bills when they played a higher level competition. 9 points in the first half so far. So if they can punch
Buffalo
this in,
started with the ball.
if they can punch this in, it looks better. But still, almost a full half.
All right, field
football.
goal it is. So they go into the half most likely down 9 points. So bold move. Couldn't get the first there, the touchdown. So going to the half down 9.
Yeah, and that's just, I don't know. I don't believe in the Bills. I think a team that can't run it all is not in a good place. So even the teams that aren't great, like Tampa Bay, or aren't great at running the ball, like Tampa Bay, Green Bay had a pretty good running game actually.
But what do you mean by not running the ball? So in this game,
how
Buffalo,
many rushing attempts did they have the whole first half?
Buffalo has 11 rushing attempts for 73 yards. Kansas City has 8 for 72. So they've run it more with a little bit less efficiency than the Chiefs. But neither team has really run the ball much at all.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I never bought the Bills.
I know. I don't know why you don't like the Bills.
I just don't think they're as good as their record.
They're 13-3, and they're in the Final Four, beating 2 pretty good teams.
Yeah, I get all of that. I don't think they're as good as that makes them sound.
That's fine.
Like I'm a little hesitant.
I think they're top 5.
I like Gabriel Davis though. He's shown some talent, and
I'll sell him if you want for
the
right price.
No. I saw what you listed him as.
Yeah. Alrighty. So I have to make at halftime. I got to make a bet. I have a 50% odds boost. So I can either do like touchdown score from one of the teams, or I'm almost thinking the Bills make up a couple points at half, but probably don't win this. So I'm trying to decide if I want to take Kansas City to win the second half or Buffalo to win.
The only guy who's playing well is Travis Kelce, and if you just bet on him to do something good,
the only thing I can bet Travis Kelce is next Chiefs touchdown.
I'd bet on that one probably. Travis just continues to be phenomenal while everybody else stands around and watches how good he is. All right. Zeus it is. Hurling lightning bolts.
Alrighty, well, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We'll be in the Discord tonight, just hanging, just goofing.
Yep.
So you can see us there. If you're new and you haven't followed the show, come on in, hang out, hit that follow button, and we'll be live again.
Absolutely. We're happy to have you.
Probably next Tuesday.
We
Maybe
are
next
here
Sunday.
for you. We're going to keep the entertainment going.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
But yeah, we'll let you know in the Discord exactly when and where we'll be here.
And if you haven't followed,
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
I'm just playing with drops now. All right. Thanks.
I like it.
Thanks for coming. Happy to have you. Sorry if your team lost. There's only 2 left, so we will be doing a show next week. We'll figure out what we're going to cover. Might be talking about the rookies, or just kind of the prospects for next year, what we think is going to happen, breaking it down.
Hey, we'll do an early mock draft for Bambo.
Ooh, I'm here for a mock draft.
I'm interested.
Job's done.
Job's done.
All right. Thanks for coming out.
See you later. Thank you.